Welcome to the Explainer. Look, if you're an American retiree, you already know the deal. Protecting your life savings in today's wild economic climate, it's absolutely crucial. Today, we're setting out to objectively unpack the reality of using goldsilver.com for your retirement investments. We're going to cut right through the marketing and look at the hard facts, the actual costs, and the real customer experiences to see if this platform is a solid fit for your hard-earned nest egg.
Okay, let's dive into this, because honestly, the stakes here couldn't be higher. When you're trying to shield your retirement from inflation and crazy market volatility, physical precious metals are a classic go-to strategy, right? But here's the thing, the company you choose to handle and store those metals can literally make or break your financial security. You're trusting them with your wealth. So is goldsilver.com the secure, reliable safe haven it claims to be, or are there hidden risks just waiting to jeopardize your retirement? Well, let's find out.
All right, Section 1, the Gold Silver Promise, Wealth Protection. To really get what goldsilver.com is all about, we first have to understand the massive appeal that brings thousands of investors to their door every single year. These guys aren't exactly the new kids on the block. Gold Silver has been around since 2005, making them total veterans in the precious metal space. The whole operation is led by founder and CEO Mike Maloney, who you might know as a huge figure in financial education. And honestly, a massive part of their draw is that educational approach. Actually, scratch that. It's more like a core philosophy for them. They don't just want to ring you up for some gold. Through their wildly popular Hidden Secrets of Money video series and tons of articles, they really want to teach you why you should own it. Combine that with their unique hyper-secure global vault storage, and yeah, it's pretty easy to see why they attract folks looking for a comprehensive wealth preservation strategy. Moving right along to Section 2, Inside the Gold IRA, Tax Advantage Growth. But how does this actually play out for you, the American retiree? Let's pivot to the practical, nuts and bolts mechanics of using this platform to invest those tax-advantaged retirement funds. So you can't just buy a gold bar, toss it in your basement safe, and tell the IRS it's for your IRA, right? No way. They have super strict rules for this stuff. But Gold Silver facilitates a really straightforward IRS-approved three-step process. Step 1. You open an account with an approved custodian. Gold Silver partners up with industry heavyweights like Equity Trust, who, by the way, manage over $50 billion in assets, along with Strata Trust and New Direction. Step 2, you fund the IRA, which usually just means rolling over an existing 401k or traditional IRA. And Step 3, you buy your IRS-approved physical gold or silver. The metal is then shipped to an approved depository and stored entirely in your name. Simple as that. Which brings us to Section 3, Fees, Spreads, and Storage, the true cost. Education and big promises are great, sure, but the true cost of doing business is what's actually going to impact your retirement bottom line. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how those costs break down. If you decide to store your metals in their private vaults, you're going to pay a tiered storage fee. And to be fair, the setup is really favorable for smaller accounts. If you hold under $6,600, you're paying a minimum of just $4 a month. That's less than a cup of coffee. But as your nest egg grows, those fees definitely scale up. A $50,000 account costs $30 a month, and a $100,000 account, that'll run you $60 every single month. Oh, and if you want segregated storage, where your specific metals are physically walled off from everyone else's, that's going to cost a premium of 0.08% per month with a $35 minimum. Now, beyond just the monthly storage, we absolutely have to talk about the buyback spread. Please don't let the industry jargon intimidate you. It's a simple concept. Basically, when you're ready to take distributions in retirement and you sell your gold back to the dealer, they do not pay you the current market spot price you see on the news. They pay a bid price, which is always lower. For a standard 1-ounce gold coin, this creates a round-trip cost, or gap, of about 4% to 8%. Now, for a long-term investor, you generally don't feel this gap because the metal's growth over a decade usually covers it. But huge warning here. During times of crazy market volatility, dealers face higher hedging costs, and those spreads can widen significantly. You definitely want to keep that in mind. Okay, shifting back to the perks, one of Gold Silver's absolute coolest offerings is their offshore storage, specifically over in Hong Kong. This is a massive draw for investors who want true, hardcore geographic diversification. Your metals are stored in a Malka Amit vault. We're talking the exact same tier of facility used by actual central banks, located right next to the Hong Kong International Airport. And because it's sitting in a free trade zone, there are zero import duties or value-added taxes, creating a drag on your wealth.
The whole shebang is fully insured by Lloyd's of London, and maybe the biggest selling point of all, it places your wealth entirely outside the U.S. banking and legal system. All of this allocated storage comes in at a baseline rate of 0.06% per month. All right, Section 4, Red Flags and Complaints, Customer Experiences. Look, the high-end vaulting and those educational resources, very impressive. But our job here is to give you the complete picture. We have to objectively investigate what is, frankly, a stark contrast between those premium promises and some pretty chilling real-world customer experiences. Because when we look at the review landscape, the results are completely polarizing. Over on Trustpilot, Gold Silver is crushing it with a very strong 4.6 out of 5 stars across over 1,200 reviews. A ton of customers rave about how friendly and helpful the service reps are. But then you click over to the Better Business Bureau. Gold Silver currently holds an F rating. Yep, a 1 out of 5 stars, the absolute lowest score you can get, largely due to a string of unresolved complaints. A discrepancy like that, it absolutely demands a much closer look. To really grasp what goes wrong when the wheels fall off, let's look at a documented, highly detailed case from a 10-year-old Reddit saga. This user, MagnusBit777, had been a loyal Gold-Silver customer for 4 years. They attempted a totally standard withdrawal of just over $2,000 via bank wire. But according to the customer, after Gold-Silver took delivery of the physical silver, the customer was completely ghosted for 15 days. Their emails were totally ignored, and their money was just trapped in this terrifying administrative limbo. And this brilliantly illustrates the severe administrative risks you need to be aware of. Because the saga gets crazier. When the customer finally got someone on the phone, the representative actually admitted the wire had been sent to the wrong city entirely. And when the customer, understandably frustrated, asked if the rep knew how to properly send the wire once the funds bounced back, the rep replied, "No, but I can give you the same form you used to fill out the account numbers to fill out again." Are you kidding me? Eventually, the customer did get their money back, but they were shorted $100 just from the third-party banking fees caused by the error. Now, administrative hiccups and bad customer service days are one thing, but there's a much more serious structural concern buried deep in the fine print. To unpack it, we need to quickly define a slightly intimidating financial term, hypothecation. Put simply, hypothecation is a practice where a company legally reserves the right to pledge, lend out, or otherwise use your stored assets as collateral for their own business dealings. So why does that matter for you? Well, check out this very recent verified Trustpilot review from June of 2026. The reviewer spotted that an updated user agreement for Gold Silver actually reserves the right to hypothecate the metal you store with them, with or without giving you notice. Think about that. As the reviewer rightly points out, if you are paying good money for allocated storage, which literally means you hold the direct legal title to specific physical bars of metal, a clause allowing the company to lend out that exact metal completely contradicts the entire safety premise of private vaulting. It's definitely a head-scratcher. Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, Is it right for you? Weighing your options. We've talked about the top-tier global storage benefits, and we've dug into the concerning fine print and customer service blunders. So let's bring it all together right now, so you can make a truly informed decision for your retirement. So the crucial point is this balance sheet. On the plus side, Gold Silver offers genuinely top-tier educational resources, some really incredible offshore vaulting options in highly secure places like Hong Kong, and modern conveniences like paying with crypto. But on the flip side, they have a limited product range, no platinum or palladium here. There's that glaring F rating from the BBB, documented administrative nightmares with bank wires, and, most troublingly, those legal clauses that might allow the hypothecation of your stored metals. It all boils down to this ultimate question. You have to ask yourself as a retiree, do the unique, powerful benefits of that offshore, non-bank vaulting actually outweigh the very real risks of administrative errors and those downright spooky hypothecation clauses in the fine print? Are you genuinely comfortable with those trade-offs when it comes to the life savings you are relying on? Look, if you're still weighing your options, and frankly, who could blame you, and you want to continue your research without any high-pressure sales tactics, you can request a completely free comprehensive gold IRA guide. It's an awesome, low-pressure resource to help you navigate these complex decisions and secure your wealth. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. But before you go, I want you to ask yourself one last thing. If a vaulting company reserves the right to legally lend out your life savings, who is really protecting your wealth?